So, hey guys, let's see what we're gonna do today. Also, I'd like to keep an eye on Twitch for a bit to see if we're having any of the buffering issues that we usually do. If so, please let me know. Because over here I'm seeing it buffering like crazy. But that could just be my screen going weird. So let me know, guys. Anyway. Let me get this started. Anyway, here we are. I've been having a lot of fun with the ER301 these past couple of days. Don't know if you guys have heard anything about this module so far, but it is, in its own words, a sound computer. And it does all kinds of stuff. It's an incredibly deep sampler. As in, it immediately made all my other sampler modules completely obsolete, like the Phonogene, the Mungo G0. There's no point in actually keeping these anymore because this 301 just completely knocks it out of the park. So yeah, I've been toying around with it for a bit. It took me some time to get it working right, but by now it's really doing some crazy shit. So I'll probably be toying around with this a lot for this stream. Things might get a little experimental, but we'll see what happens. Give me a second. Yes. Right on. Seems I managed to somewhat fix the buffering issues that we had on Twitch. In any case, if you guys are having troubles with the way the stream is showing here on the Twitch channel, just go over to the YouTube one, because that one seems to always work. I don't know why, but I've been having a couple buffering issues lately with all this, so I'm really hoping that today it will not mess up as much. Anyway, welcome back, guys. I see a couple of guys who are here for the first time. Hope you're gonna have a good time here. Basically, Modular Mayhem, this series. I'm calling this one number 9, even though I know that I've been doing a couple of others in between, but just to reset the count. Well, basically, this is just jamming out with modular synthesizers. What we are going to toy around with today is, for a big part of it, we're going to be using the ER301 sound computer, which is an incredibly deep sampling machine. It's probably just out of visual right now, but it's in the little black case to the left of my main system. And this thing is an incredibly powerful live sampling tool. The couple of experiments I've done with it have been so incredibly deep that basically it has made my Phonogene and my Mongo G0 completely obsolete. There's no reason to have either of these anymore since this one just does that and so much more. So yeah, we're gonna be using that one in these patches, and I am slightly interested in seeing what we can come up with today. I feel like just making some spaced out music, and we'll see where it lands us. As you can see right now, we have an empty system. Well, mostly empty. I've left in the main parts of the patch that are always somewhat the same. Some of you guys may know I have somewhat developed a core patch system that that grants me a lot of freedom in moving around and switching up songs and stuff like that, but the core patch usually remains somewhat the same. But yeah, from there on I'm just going to start building, and probably the first thing we're going to do is get ourselves an interesting drum loop or something like that, smack it into the ER301, and then from there on we're going to build on that. So yeah. Also, I see some people here mentioning raffle style stuff. No, that might actually not be a bad idea. But I'm not going to do it with the Phonogene, not just yet. But maybe I have something else that I can raffle off somewhere in the coming streams. We'll look at that later. Anyway, first off, let me get the core of this patch right. Yeah, I'm gonna put down the mic for a second. If you guys have any questions or whatsoever, don't hesitate to just pop the question, and I will see if I can answer it to the best of my abilities. So it goes here. As usual, by the way, be patient, bear with me as I patch up the system. It's always kind of a boring process, but once the fun happens, it really is there. Here, let me see. I've never actually heard of a 301, or ever heard a 301. It is quite incredible. The ER301 is a sampler module, and it has a sampler module, an SD card, and it has a sampler module, a lot of an SD card to toy around with, gives you samples. It has recording chains on it, but also a VCA function in it. It has ADSR functions. There's a whole bunch of delays and stuff that you can use in it, and basically, once you get your samples in there, sample slicing and stuff like that is a walk in the park. At audio rates, it gets you some very freaky, sample-based synthesis features that actually tracks 1 volt per octave. Yeah, I fell completely in love with it, so much so that I just now ordered a second ER101 and ER102, completely focused on controlling this 301 module over here. Then later in January, I'm getting a third set so that we can do up to 16 voice polyphony. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a while now. So yeah. Anyway, let's get some sound going as soon as possible so that we don't get bored. All right. Right on. I won't be talking for a bit. Time to make some sound here. Right on. Oop. Think we got a interesting loop going on here. The clicky is ear rapey on my ultrasounds. Yeah, sorry about that, dude. Let me see how we can solve that for you. The clicky is... we could actually tame it a little bit. See what happens. Give me a second, yeah? I'm just gonna filter it down a bit, see if that works. One sec. Let's use this one. That's fun. Low pass. I hope that's better. There we go. So how's that? I'm sure this is a little less harsh for you. Anyway, we have this loop. Let's see if we can get that into the ER301. So from here on... Oh, wait a second. I just want to check one more thing on this. You're a bit loud. That's it. Okay, so we have this sound. So from here on, it gets a little bit fiddly because the 301 is a little bit of a menu diver. It is not really as forgiving with we're in 180 BPM. Yeah, it's not like with, for example, the Macbeths or any of the old school analog modules that I have, where everything is very clear cut. So it takes a little bit of menu skipping and stuff like that to get to the interesting bits. But then again, it is very rewarding once you get all that set up right. So let's see what we can get going here. So this one goes in here to the output. Now what we need is I'd like to take a sample recorder. That's always fun. I'm gonna manually engage it, but the reset is something that I need assigned, and we're gonna assign it to a 3. Perfect. Let's take the reset out from the circadian rhythm. So basically you have to set, in this firmware right now, you have to manually set the buffer size for the sample that you're playing. Just too short. And this means that it is kind of fixed in the BPM that you set for the buffer. But this is not really a problem. Here, let's have a look. Once I have this, if it actually spits out the reset. Yep, I see a reset, so that's good. So now we create the sample. Actions, choose sample. Let's create a new one. Beats. Let's make it 16 beats. That's always good. At 180 BPM. There we go. Enter. That's good. Now let's go to the controls and the transport. Fire away. Punch in. There we go. So right now it is recording in loop. Could be recording a little bit louder into this. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, and now we have the loop going. Perfect. So let's save this. I did not record the kick drum with this one, since yeah, I can use the kick drum for other stuff. So let's save this. New, insert, that's okay for now. There we go. I'm gonna remove this. Now let's put in this sample player. And from here on, stuff gets really exciting. So, actions, choose sample, the one we just had. Oh, wait, nope. Go back, go back. Menu. Let's go for pitch view for now. So here we go. We now have we have this sample. Plays forward, plays backwards. So let's see what we can do with this. Yep. Give me a minute. I'm gonna hook up a sequencer to the ER301 so that we can jump around with sample slices and stuff like that. And we can get some interesting breakbeaty kind of stuff going. Give me a moment. Anyway, that's some quick stuff with the. Let me see. That's some quick stuff with the ER301, where right now we are modulating the sample playback speed. We are also modulating a variable delay, which is in sequence with it, which gives it kind of a tonal feedback situation going on. And the Metropolis is actually selecting the sample slices, which gives it all a little bit more of an organic feel to it. I've been fiddling around with a couple of samples yesterday that really made it stand out quite incredibly much. I've mostly been using it as a full-blown synth voice, actually, just loading in a little click or something, and it came out doing all kinds of weird vowel sounds and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty damn impressed with this thing. It's loads of fun to toy around with, but it is a lot of a manual diver, so I still have to get pretty deep in it. Yeah, let me answer a couple of questions because I see a couple of things popping up here. How do you generate your symbols? They always sound so realistic. Actually, this symbol module that I'm using right here is by Tip Top Audio. They have the Tip Top symbol 909, which is kind of an exact clone of the 909 symbol circuitry. So I picked that up just a couple of months ago and completely loved it, because the one reason why I missed my original 909 was mainly the cymbal, actually. The kick, I can recreate that. The snare, yeah, sure, it's a lot of fun, but it was a little too high-pitched for me. But the cymbal was something that I could really toy around with a lot all the time. So I just got this 909 cymbal module, and it really works well. So let me see. And then indeed, there's also some hex inverter stuff in this system, but that's mainly the snare that you're hearing right now and the other hi-hats, and the kick drum in this case. Usually I make my own kick drum patch, but I'm trying to glue with Mutant BD9 for a bit. I mean, it's I'd expected it to be a lot more straightforward, just plug it in and you'll have a kick, but it actually does give you a lot more control over some subtlety, so I'm trying to, I don't know, understand it a little bit more. So that's the kick drum right now. Let's see. What do you think of the Macbeth stuff? Is someone asking here in the YouTube channel. Macbeth is probably one of those modules that I have people all around me on the lookout for new Macbeth oscillators and filters, because every time when I see one, I will start the bidding war on it and try and get my hands on it, and simply because it is hands down the best analog oscillator I've ever played with. Same goes for the back-end filter. It is just incredible. Macbeth he's a crazy Scotsman, and his mind is all over the places, but his designs are incredible. It's like it's just way too deep. It's the stuff I've been able to do with this is just outrageous. So the Macbeth is definitely should be on everyone's wish lists forever. A very, very good second best in this one are the mini mod VCOs and filter. They have a very fat, warm sound to it. It's more Moogish, which means it's a bit more crunchy and a bit less defined, and everything is a little bit more noisy in a way, but it gives you this fat, warm deepness that you want from your bass lines and stuff like that. But yeah, it's either those or the Macbeths. But the Macbeths for me is usually really the go-to system. That being said, let's go and patch up some other stuff. Let's get into this. There we go. So, yeah. In all my enthusiasm, I have unplugged the ER301 since in this patch it doesn't really have a place. Anyway, what we have going on right here is let me try and explain a little bit of this patch. See a couple of guys popping in with some confused questions like, what the hell is going on here? So very quickly, let me give you a rundown. Music, you can make it in all kinds of different ways, and mostly electronic music happens in digital environments. So with a keyboard and a mouse, and people can do some awesome stuff with that, but I absolutely suck at computers. As in, I know how to play my games, I know how to start up Steam and log into my Gmail and rant on the internet forums and stuff like that, but when it comes to actually making music with it, I am way too impatient to mess around with my keyboard and mouse. So I have an analog alternative, which is a modular synthesizer, and this is the thing you see right here. And basically it allows me to use physical instruments to make electronic music. It's kind of an old school principle, but loads of people are getting into it, so a lot of new stuff is being developed as we speak, and that enables us to do more and more weird stuff up to the point that it doesn't even matter anymore for the results that you're getting, whether you work digitally or analog. You can just make music with it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing with this. Everything you're hearing right now comes from this box, the machine, the way I call it, and it plays it all at the same time, so you can manipulate whatever you want. Like here, let's open up the filter, or get the bass line grooving, add in a kick, you know, stuff like that. So you can just play around with it and have loads of fun. So yeah, that's how this works. Let me see, I saw a couple of questions popping up elsewhere. In Twitch, someone is asking question. Normally, do you only use the ER101 sequence, or do you have additional sequences as part of the Metropolis? I have the Metropolis running here as well, and that one I occasionally use for our kinds of arpeggio kind of stuff, but I really like the ER101. It is incredibly deep and gives you unlimited steps, basically, and this is something that really sits well at the core of any system. So much so that I just ordered a second pair of the 101 and the 102, and we'll be getting a third set soon afterwards to control some other stuff. Let me see. Are you gonna get an ER301? I already have it. It's sitting right here. We've been doing some weird sampling stuff with it earlier. But it is a lot of menu diving for me right now to use it live on stream, so I am kind of staying away from that for now. Anyway, let's continue on with this kind of space vibe, because I kind of like this. Let's see if we can get something musical going on. Enjoy! Right on. Let's see. It is time for a little bathroom break for me. I'm gonna continue streaming until 10 o'clock, so that's another 1.5 hours at least. Let's see, before I head off for a few minutes. What is the current cable count? Holy shit. I really wouldn't know. I have about 400 cables at my disposal. Right now I think I've used about, looking at what is still left, I think I used about 80 or 90 cables in this patch right now. Yeah, we'll probably get some more up in there. Yeah, let me see. Question: do you use some kind of color coding for patching, or is it related to cable length? I relate everything to cable length, and there's been a little period where I experimented with labeling it on function and stuff like that, but there is a big flaw in function labeling, and that is that if you spend enough time with your system, then you'll know why certain things are patched the way they are. Like, you know that you're not going to be patching outputs together, and you know why something is plugged into a certain input. What you don't know is, when you're looking at a big pile of cables, is how long they're going to be. So I spent at least 20% more time trying to find the right cable to make the patch that I wanted to. So I'm back to just using color coding for cable length, because that really makes everything a lot easier for me. Let me see. Have you ever messed around with Reactor, Maximus P, and any of that virtual analog stuff? No, not really. I know a lot of people who really love the shit out of it and who are really proficient with it, but no, I haven't really messed around with it too much. I did some stuff with the FM8, one of the Native Instruments standard soft synths, and there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with that, but I am not really the right person for that, because I always have to cope with boredom, which is kind of my biggest flaw, is that if it's not if it doesn't attract me to work with, then I cannot immerse myself enough to actually get into there. But then again, I know that stuff like Reactor and Maximus P in particular is insane, and for those of you who are lucky enough to have a Nord Modular G2 engine lying around, now that is a beast of a soft modular synth. Definitely worth it if computers don't scare you. Let me see. Do you ever feel like you don't have enough arms for what you want to do? Actually, this is quite relevant. I've been looking into robotic arms for a bit to see if I could get a couple of extra functions and just motorize them or something like that, but I don't think it's going to be feasible for a while before I actually will be able to start using stuff like that. But at some point, I'd like to start doing stuff like that. Maybe even make them stream controllable or something like that. More on that later. Let me see. What's with the gap on the left rack? You rearranging your stuff? Yeah, I'm always rearranging my stuff. As in, I had everything in 3 different suitcases. Then I put back the top case, and now the other smaller cases are all kind of a mess. But I'm slowly filling that one up, while there's a whole bunch of modules still lying around, but I'm gonna probably fill those holes pretty soon. Still have a Rainmaker and a QMMF4 that I want to put in there. Anyway, yeah, I'll be right back. Also, Wyman, yeah, I'm from Holland. That's my home base. Anyway, see you guys in a bit, yeah? let's have a look. So for those of you who are in Twitch, I have a little poll going on. I just made a bulletin post on my front page, and basically I'm trying to understand what you guys like. As in, I've been toying around with loads of different styles and variations of music, and one day I am all out in this techno kind of crazy mode, and the other day I'm doing this kind of new wave synthy type of stuff, which is way more melodic in nature. I've always called this feels and shatters, basically. And I'd like to find out what you guys are into more, as in, if you prefer the melodic stuff, I'd like you guys to react to that bulletin post with a heart. And if you are more into the kind of destructive, weird stuff, then please react with one of those robot faces, because that really helps me a lot in understanding what you guys are into, and how to kind of work towards the rest of my streams from here on. So yeah, let me see if you guys have been posting anything. So yeah, react to that one bulletin poll and help me out with that. So I was off for a bit. What is he making? I'm making music with this thing. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, about what I'm using for drums. Basically, what I have here is the entire Mutant line by Hexinverter. The hi-hats are amazing. The Mutant machine is awesome for snares. The BD9 is incredible for kick drum, but kicks you can make them very easily with an oscillator and 2 envelopes and a VCA. Then I'm using the tip-top cymbals and the circadian rhythms plus an A157 to trigger everything. Hope that kind of helps. So yeah, let's see how that works. Do you happen to have ADHD? Hell yeah. I'm kind of spacing myself out all the time, and I'm having a very hard time staying focused on one thing at a time, but that kind of somehow this modular workflow really helps with that, since there's so much stuff going on here, so many blinking lights. It lights up like a Christmas tree, so I don't know, it keeps me attracted to all those buttons all the time, so I don't know, somehow it really works well for me. Anyway, let's see what we can do. I'd like to go a little darker in the next patch, so let's see how that ends up. Bear with me, guys. Enjoy.